This is WanderingWinder here covering a match of games between Ingix, I don't know. I'm gonna pick some way, and I apologize if it's incorrect, but that's what's gonna happen there. And the opponent, Apostolosoruler. Um, yeah. So what are we doing here? Well, King's Court. There's Urchin. Temple research can possibly thin. King's Court is power. Star chart, maybe not worth it here, given that you can go double Urchin, which is, I think, what I would be doing. I think I'd go double Urchin. I want to thin down with my Urchins, and 2-5 is gross. I'd probably still double Urchin, but I'd be pretty unhappy. Um, Eventually, you probably do Star Chart just so that you can um, yeah, at some point you can do forum stuff for consistency. There isn't great payload that's King's Courtable. There's Baker and Merchant Ship, neither of which is the most fantastic. And Windfall is really good payload once you get to the point where you're drawing your deck, so you will probably do some of that. There's also no plus buy here, but okay, I guess maybe at some point Temple can kind of sort of be payload. Forum's okay. There is kind of plus buy on Forum, but only to get more forums. But I think I'd be going for double Urchin into, trying to thin down, getting some Forum, King's Court, maybe a Baker, and get a Windfall. Maybe you could skip King's Court here even. I'm not 100% sure. Advisor also helps you draw once you get that thin. So getting those on 4 once you have probably about 2 silvers in your deck seems to be good. The star chart, yeah, it's going to be something I get, but it's not going to be something that I necessarily get super high. But the thing is, the star chart is less good at the very beginning because you want to get the urchins, and star chart doesn't help you get them together. It helps them not miss the shuffle, so it's like slightly better at getting them together than no star chart, but it's worse than jamming another urchin. Um, Apostolosoruler gets there anyway, and now has to think about a Baker or another Forum. Um, yeah, and now once you get the Merc, you want to have the Merc on top all the time. So this is really nice. Um, I guess he could have put the Forum on top instead. But that seems a little bit worse to me. Depending on how he draws here, if he doesn't draw his Forum, he's going to be able to play his Mercenary again next turn. And if he would have drawn the Forum not off of the Mercenary, he would be able to do that. It's just because it came up exactly off the Mercenary. So this is a bit unfortunate. Um, I think I'd take a silver here before I'd go towards advisors, but I'm not sure about that. It's possible that you can get away with not taking a silver. But 1 silver seems pretty good anyway, because eventually when you windfall, yeah, I think I like 1 silver. Um, I guess the other consideration there would have been maybe if this hand is going to be likely enough to just be a silver, then you do the thing. But yeah, here you put the mercenary back again. Yeah. And Ingix, not going for Urchin, I think, is going to be really, really tough here. Um, I assume this is discard coppers and temple trash 2 things. Buy a 3. Oh, this doesn't seem good at all. Oh, he wants King's Court. If he's going to do that, he He should have just discarded estate and temple, and he could have saved a coffers. That's just like a clear mistake. Yeah. So here could be another baker, could be another advisor. I think I lean towards advisor. You just want to get towards windfall faster, I think. Check and make sure that my audio is working. It seems to be. And is Ingix going to take another King's Court here? Or is he going to take a different action? He doesn't have that many actions besides his King's Courts. He takes a research. Interesting. Yeah, so you pitch coppers here. You play the urchin. You play the merc. See, he didn't put merc on top last time, which I guess is fine. Oh, I don't think I would have taken King's Court. Maybe. I don't know. I assume he put the King's Court on top. This is probably fine. Um, I think I'm just trying to figure out how soon he can windfall. I think that should really be his goal. Ingix should just end his turn there. Yep. So this should be Baker first. There's no reason to not take the information you get from bakering first. I guess this is fine. He's just not going to play his forum this turn, but that's fine. And now I think he should windfall. And then he should just start provincing. You can't get forum windfall, by the way. It won't. Well, I mean, you can, but you won't get anything off the windfall. So, I mean, I also don't know that that would be good anyway, but yeah. This should just be windfall, and then he can start provincing after. But I don't want to province yet. Oh, and I don't like the King's Court. I don't see what it's particularly doing for you. I mean, I guess he can like King's Court Bakers a bunch, and that's going to be enough econ. But it doesn't seem as good to me as Windfall. So play Advisor. Guess it doesn't really matter. He's going to King a Baker here. His Advisor's never going to do anything for him. But again, I would have liked Windfall better, I think. I guess maybe this is fine. He should just start provincing now. He should be able to province every turn, I think, for the rest of the game. The Windfall seems overkill to me. But he should still be far ahead, just because the Urchin thing is so good. He put Forum on top, I guess? I don't know how much it matters. Ingix should definitely take some kind of action here. You play the Forum. You discard Merc and Silver. This Merc isn't going to get played. I don't like keeping it. King of Baker. Doesn't matter what you pick here because you're drawing them all. And I guess he can Mercenary. I don't know that it's particularly relevant whether or not he mercenaried. Now you buy a province. I would not waste tokens to get another forum, but it probably, again, doesn't matter. He has way more money than he'll ever be able to use, and he's going to keep being money positive for the rest of the game, really. So yeah, this game is just very over. I mean, I say it's very over, but I suppose there is some chance. You should play Embassy now. There is some chance that Ingix can province enough that he's not totally lost. I think he's totally lost, though. I don't think he can province enough for that. I don't think I like King King Advisor here. You want to King Bakers, really. And this is not a way to. I guess it doesn't matter, right? Yes, this is a way to king them both. King the Baker, and then just play your Urchin. And I would not sweat. I would not sweat um, playing your Mercenary every turn. But it looks like he's going to try to maintain his Mercenary every turn, which he can do, I guess. Oh, now he's not going to be able to, though. And if you're not going to do that, I don't like getting rid of the Urchin. I would have just kept the silver. Again, it's not going to matter, really. Um, Province Copper Copper. And probably still don't play this temple. Doesn't really matter. He can province. Um, you know what? Apostolosoruler may be in a little bit of trouble here. He's he's just played a little bit too fast and loose with getting extra stuff that he didn't need, and now he may be paying the price. I assume he's going to merc his actions here because he's been playing for Mercenary pretty consistently. But Ingix has these coffers. He should discard Province and Copper here. He's going to be able to buy a Province this turn for sure. And yeah, I mean, so Apostolosoruler's deck is so much better that he might be okay anyway. Um, but he kind of needs to make the game go longer. I wonder if he might take like Forum Temple here. Um, oh, he trashed his golds? Whoa. He's gonna run out of money now. Forum Temple. Okay. He's gonna run out of money eventually. I don't know that his deck is so much better now. It's kind of better. Um, Now, if he plays it right, he can play a Forum at the end to discard provinces, and then that would let him King Temple. Yeah, I don't know about that. Seems kind of loose. Assume you merc like a Forum and a Temple here. No, he's playing Temple, getting rid of the advisor and trashing Forums. Now he's ahead, but he's on a clock because he's only making 6 money a turn. This is the last turn he can really play as Mercenary. I mean, he could get more Forums, but then he's really going to run out of money. So he plays 6 money. I mean, he's not going to run out of money before the game ends, but... Oh, Ingix has a dud turn. Interesting. I assume that what he's going to do... Whoa, I don't like this move. Especially for one Forum. I don't know. It's probably fine. I assume Ingix is going to research Temple here. Oh, he's just resigning. Yeah. Yeah. I still think Apostolosoruler overbuilt a little bit and made it a little bit harder than he needed to in order to win, and he was too worried about playing the mercenary every turn, again, unnecessarily. Um, like he should have just kept the urchin, played the urchin every turn, written off the mercenary, and just single provinced for a long time, and been enough ahead on time that would have been really good. This board. Well, fountain right. You need 10 coppers, and it's a ton of points. You, I think that's probably worth going for. I think what I would do here with 5-2, which Apostolosoruler actually they both have. I think I'd go Treasure Trove Lackeys and just like keep buying a bunch of lackeys mostly, um, and then get maybe a second treasure trove. But the treasure trove will get you up to fountain. You get a bunch of lackeys, and you can buy provinces because you're gonna have a lot of golds, and um, you're drawing a bunch of cards, and I think you'll be fine before your stuff runs out. I don't like the amulet really much at all, and I don't like the carriage much at all. Um, there's no extra gains here other than fortune, which gives you a second buy and takes forever to get to. I'm not too worried about giant attacking me, so I don't feel particularly needy in getting thin. And I think that game should be able to close the game out before Groundskeeper does its thing because there's so few games. And the fountain points obviously also are a big deal there. Um, Amulet is fine, but like I think you can do better with your 5. Others might disagree with me. A crypt at some point in that deck could also be quite good. I don't understand this crossroads. If you're gonna trash the estates, then what is the crossroads for? I mean, maybe it's for lackeys, but he doesn't need that. Ingix is really going down on these gladiators, but um, I don't quite see the. It's fine, but it doesn't seem great. Yeah, I like the treasure trove. I think you should have just done that from the start. But yeah, I mean, Royal Carriage is an okay card, but I think treasure trove seems better to me. I'd probably take another one here, although Crypt wouldn't be crazy. Yeah, Crypt is fine. I certainly, though, like what Ingix is doing better than what I like what Apostolosoruler is doing here. Apostolosoruler is going for giant. If that hits exactly the treasure trove, it could be trouble, but it's going to be a bit slow, and yeah, so he doesn't want these lining up the same, and he wants to get a 2. And, oh, okay. No, he does want them lining up the same, or he's okay with it. I don't know. I might have not played the second amulet there if I'm just taking it for money, but I wouldn't be playing his plan at all to start with, so there's that. Um, I assume you gotta stick this carriage down here. You buy a lackey's. Oh, I don't like buying the gladiator there whatsoever. Um, it opens up fortune. It does all kinds of stuff that I don't think you want to really be doing. Obviously, this is going to be fortune buys for each of them. Uh, you stick the. I don't know which treasure you stick back, actually. I don't know that it particularly matters. It's probably a little bit better to do it this way. I would have revealed the trove. You're going to play the trove. It doesn't. No, you should have definitely revealed the trove. It gives you more money. It gives you more money because you know he doesn't have one. And yeah, it's just much better. And it would have called the carriage to get more money because there's nothing better to call it on. Um, Ingix should probably just trash, call, and trash and not play the lackeys. Or he could lackeys and call on lackeys. But I don't like this as much. And now he should take the money. His next turn. I still think Ingix is in a much better position. Take the money. I don't like taking the silver as much because I would have liked to have had, extra money. This is probably okay. He should take. Oh, I really don't like the second fortune. That should have been province lackeys. I really, really don't like the second fortune. And reveal gold is just better. Now he has 7. I don't really know what he's going to do now. And again, here he should be taking province on his next turn here. Okay, and he finally does. Now I'd gain a silver with this amulet on Ingix's next turn. Apostolosoruler. He's going to have a double province here. Now he's going to play his crossroads, and he can play a lackeys. And now I think you don't play this lackey. Maybe it doesn't matter so much. Mm-hmm. But he's going to have a problem with the fountain stuff. I assume he's going to trash copper here. So none of the other options do anything, and he's not going for fountain. I'm pretty sure, based on how much he's trashed. How many coppers has he trashed? 5? Yeah. Well, he's going to play this one as well. Well, I assume this is, again, to trash again? Yeah. And then gold, and then fortune, and then double province? Yeah. Amulet, gain a silver. What? He didn't need that money. Oh, well, this is actually probably okay. Province lackeys? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually fine. Actually, that's probably better. He should probably take money again. I can't remember what's left in his deck, though. Whatever you do, don't trash. But I think the money is going to be a bigger deal than what a silver could do. Ooh, yeah, and this looks real bad. On the other hand, there's a good chance Apostolosoruler can double in his next turn. How close is Ingix to the fountain points? This is really important now. Don't what? No, playing the gladiator is terrible. It doesn't get you anything. No, play this trove. Oh, and that got him his fountain points. That's really good for him. Stick everything in the trove. Yeah. So now this is basically game over. Um, I think this is game over. You're gonna call and you trash a gold, but it doesn't matter. The fortune, he can double duchy, I guess, and hope to double province the next turn. But we of course know that Ingix has this province here. So I really don't like the second fortune from Ingix, and I also think that you should just go for the trove and lackey stuff much earlier and not mess around so much with some of the other stuff that was going on. Maybe the crypt, but not a lot of the other stuff. But yeah, this I think this is going to be it here. This is going to be another duchy, but it's pretty hopeless. Now you take the gold, and you just hope to draw any amount of money. Ooh, rough. Didn't. Um, yeah, but you just take a duchy and start dancing those. Yeah, you're gonna find this fortune, and then that's gonna be GG. So this is just you probably play lackeys, I think. I mean, you definitely just want to get as many giant plays as possible as fast as possible. Ooh, he didn't call on the giant. I don't like that. Just stop here and play your fortune. You want to keep some villagers. You should double duchy. Obviously, we know it's not going to matter. Playing this amulet does not seem worth it. I really would have wanted to call the carriage on the giant because you want to get it um, in play faster. But anyway, it doesn't matter, of course. You play the trove, you play the fortune, you buy province, it's GG. Okay. Um, okay, interesting. This is donate, obviously. And then there's some attack that you're going to want to play. Probably catapult. But you need to be able to gain enough stuff as well to feed it. So that's probably means some amount of spices at some point. Maybe Sonavanto. It's a little bit tricky, but the discard attack from catapult is definitely going to be important. And because you need extra gains, spices is better than contraband, so that's going to be important. Donating at the right time, you want to be able to increase your hand sizes either with labs or Sonavanto. I'm not sure which. Or I guess you could go for pool, but that seems worse to me. Um, is Hound worth it? I don't know. I think I'd want to go like Silver Catapult here if I had a 3-4 5-2 spices for sure, but what do I want with the spices? I'm not sure. 2-5 is actually, of course, the absolute worst because 5-2 you would love to be able to do spices catapult. That's like the dream open. This could be another spices or it could be like catapult hound or cellar. How does hound work? You get it at the start of your turn or do you get it, yeah, at the end of your turn you put it in hand? So yeah, You could also start thinking about donating. Um, he's got 4 money left in his deck in those 7 cards. He has a 5/7 chance of drawing his hound, and if he doesn't draw his hound, then there's like a 1/3 chance that he draws all of his coppers anyway. So 2 1/3, no. So 1/3 of 2 sevens plus 5 sevens, 2 out of 21. Plus 15 out of 21. That's 17 out of 21 to have 4 next turn. Otherwise, he's going to have 3. Um, so that's worth knowing in trying to plan whether you donate or not. Um, okay. So he should trash all of his estates. He should keep 2 spices. That was really fast. I assume he did that calculation a bit earlier. Um, this is 7. He could buy a catapult here. I think you want catapult really more than you want hound is, I guess, the word I'm looking for there. Um, which is all kind of a reason why I don't really think I want the hound in the first place on 5-2. Maybe I do on 2-5 want the hound because it's better than nothing and because I'm going to donate and I can always get rid of it at that point. Yeah, that's probably worth it. That's probably worth it. Okay, what did he do? He didn't spend any of his. Yeah, I think that's right. Um, okay, so now Ingix is doing this. Interesting. Well, let's see what happens here. I could see catapult in silver or catapult in gold. The only thing that I'm relative or catapult in lab maybe. I guess you could start to try to build up Sonavanto, but I don't really believe in it. I guess you could get a hideout and say I'm going to use all my buys. I really think you want a catapult though. This discard attack is just going to be super powerful. Um, so here I'd probably take catapult gold. And this is one of the few cases where gold actually I think is better than spices. Your deck is so thin that you're actually going to see the card often enough that it seems to be worth to me. Possibly catapult lab would be better. So you're not going to be able to play your hound. You're going to wish that you could get rid of your hound. Um, he goes lab gold. Yeah, I don't like that so much. I still really think you want the catapult. Also, the other thing about the catapult is you're going to start trashing your silvers. You're going to get silvers and you're going to start trashing them at some point, and that's going to be really, really good. Probably lab catapults was better, but like the curses, if they don't also go catapults, or I guess they could go hideout, but my point is they're going to have a hard time dealing with those curses a little bit. I guess I guess to some extent they can go hideout to counter it, but I still think the discard attack at least would be worth it. At least from Apostolosoruler's position. Um, so I'd be looking for like catapult lab. Uh, he could go for hideout, or he could go for urchin or silver or something. I kind of want to get more coffers back again sometime, but because I want a catapult and I'm pretty sure I want a lab, um, yeah, he just goes lab gold. That means that next turn he'll have 15, and maybe he's going to go for like triple lab or double lab spices. Um, this is just double gold from Ingix. Yeah, and they're starting to get some hands where they don't get their lab every time. I expect this to be another lab gold, but I don't think that. I still want the catapult. Um, wow, hound. Huh. Don't know about that. Yeah, just start. I'm glad. Um, I'm glad. I think it's good that this catapult was taken here. That's a good move, I think. Now, I think I'd keep building like double lab spices. Probably prefer double lab to that, but whatever. And then this is going to draw a lab dead now. Okay. I am not keeping good enough track of this deck. I'm a little bit distracted. Um, this should probably be double lab. Okay. Well, that's okay-ish. You want to play the urchin before you play... Yeah, huh, interesting. So how much money is this? This is 6. This is 14 if he doesn't play the cat. I think I'd play the cat here and then have 13 and go like province lab. But the attack is just so brutal, you have to play it. It's only one more discard card, but it's also the curse at this point. Um, yeah. Obviously, you want to smash spices rather than gold. He has plenty of spices. He's not going to run out of plus buy. I'm pretty sure I can count right. This is 13. And you don't want to use coffers here to double province. You can do that later if it's going to be important. You still want to build uh, more. I'm pretty sure this should be province lab. I like better than province spices. But okay. Yeah, this is a rough spot for Ingix now. He takes that. Ugh, the seller seems worse than nothing to me, I think, but I'm not sure. Yeah, now you probably just catapult a copper. And you have 10? I probably just get a province. I could see something like double lab being good. Um, province spices. I don't know that that's worth it. If I was going to get a 5, I'd get the lab, I'm pretty sure. This is going to be a province, I think, from Ingix, but he's in a bad shape now. You smash play this lab and this one. You smash a spices here for sure. And I think you count on Ingix not being able to double, which is, I think, actually quite safe. I'm not sure that he could double even on a perfect hand from 3 cards. But I don't know that you can necessarily play around him being able to double anyway, so I think you just single province and hold pat. Oh, I don't like this at all. Oh, and I really don't like Duchy as the card you take. But I really just don't like spending your coffers there at all. That is the right thing to discard. Whoa, a donation. Wow, that seems um, ungood. Anyway, I'd trash both these curses, of course, and I'd also trash the Hound in the cellar, really. 2 labs, ooh, so let's see, what was the best he could have done? He could have played 2 labs, and then he had 2 golds, so you'd have a 5-card hand, 2 golds, and he had 1 coffers, 2 golds, 2 silver equivalents. That's 10, 11. Yeah, there's no way he could have doubled. This just looks safe now for Apostolosoruler. Although, again, I think he would have been in a much better shape if he didn't have the Duchy and instead have the coffers. Because as long as the game's not ending, you can always do that later, right? More or less. Now you just have to cry as Ingix here. You have to get a Duchy, and ooh, he spent for the estates. I guess that's okay. Now you have to think about, do you trash a gold and buy an estate, or do you trash a curse and buy a Duchy? Trashing a curse and buying a Duchy nets you 4 points. Trashing a gold and buying a estate nets you 2 points. So I think you take this because it's just enough more points. But it does potentially run the risk of, like, province Duchy winning, or province double estate is, I guess, a little bit easier. Okay, neither of those happened. This is going to be Duchy and probably estate. This hand, woof. This is 8, so this is the game. Yeah. Kind of interesting there. I'm still not sure whether you can do something with these cards at any point, but I lean toward no. Mostly because you could do something with Sonavanto, except I don't think you have the time to take so many saunas. Your opponent's just going to be too fast. Yeah. And against curses, maybe you can take the hideout, but I don't know. I think they should have gotten more labs too, probably also. This board, okay. Well, you're going to want to trash with Forager. You're going to want to draw with Enchantress and possibly Herald, and possibly your Village, Blessed Village, possibly Smithy. Leprechaun is going to give you extra gains to help feed your foragers later. And or Dismantle can do the same. I don't think I'd go for Apothecary here since you're doing the forager business. Although it does help the Herald setup, so it's not crazy. Everything you really want costs 4 or less, so yeah, I think I'd be tempted to open like Forager Enchantress. But I could see a number of other openings. Forager Potion, Blessed Village, I still don't know how to evaluate very well. Yeah. Dismantle this early is not something I'm super keen on. Really not something I'm keen on at all. Um, Again, boon tracking is not my strong suit. I really do think you want Enchantress though too, because if you can mess up your opponent's foragers, that's really good for you early on. Later on, it's not going to matter so much. Unfortunate draw here for Apostolosoruler. Um, Smithy might be early for a Smithy. The Dismantle has some merit, I guess, because it can trash coppers. Like, it can do that. Do like the Enchantress. I think the Enchantress wants to be a significant part of your deck here. I don't think I'd look at Crypt. I don't think I'd look at a lot of stuff. Leprechaun, I guess, doesn't play so well with the Herald. And because I want Leprechaun, that probably means I would really prefer to do the Blessed Village Smithy thing. Again, I guess you can do Apothecary to help your Heralds not be blind so that you're not hitting um, Leprechaun at the wrong moment, but I'm a little bit skeptical. Also surprised at how few foragers there are. Like, I don't think you want a lot, but it's not the worst thing. Um, what are his last three cards? I could not remember. Having this gold as a dismantle target is, it's at least potentially nice. I think you lead on playing Blessed Village here. I think maybe you don't. Maybe it doesn't matter so much. Yeah, I think you do. I think you lead on the Blessed Village. Now you play the Herald. Yeah, this is the bad case. And actually, given that bad case, I think I would have played the Enchantress rather than. I'd probably take a village here. Rather than. Rather than play the Dismantle, because, like, turning a state into copper and gold is not a huge upgrade in this deck, I don't think. Um, yeah, Ingix, obviously, at least this turn looks way ahead. He's not going to have the Enchantress in play at the start of the next turn. I am not a fan of getting the gold there. I would want to build with more of these four costers. And since he doesn't have the dismantle, then Earth's Gift is nice. Since he doesn't have the dismantle, um, like getting the gold is significantly worse for him than it would otherwise be. Um, yeah, here I would take. He probably needs more draw cards. I'm not a fan of the crypt either. I just think you're just gonna thin your deck down, and the crypt isn't gonna be. It's gonna be kind of whatever. I also think overall this dismantle was a bit early. The leprechaun also seems early to me. I'd be getting more like village smithy stuff going. Really be taking a lot of these villages, which yeah, he does there. And he's going to have this dyssynergy between the leprechaun and the herald, but it's not the biggest deal, so hopefully he can manage it. I'd feed the dismantle here to the enchantress, probably. I guess he has an enchantress in play, so he gets to see what he draws first, which you should do. I could feed the herald. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. And he gets away with not hitting his thing. By thing, I mean, whatchamacallit. Again, I'd still really wanting to be building more. His leprechaun, that's the word. He gets another Forager, which is reasonable, I suppose. Forager also doesn't play the best with Herald, but it's not the worst thing ever. Is there play order consideration here? Oh, I guess he's gonna have his Enchantress first. I think you Wisp before you Blessed Village. I think? Oh, you probably feed the Wisp to the Enchantress if there's one in play. There isn't, though, so... Okay. I think I would have let on Wisp there, though. Or I'd play the Wisp here before one of these villages. This is 5 in play, 6 in play, Lep, and now forage 2 coppers, dismantle the gold. Wait, this is 6 money. I guess you could dismantle copper, right? That would let you get a 4 and a 3. If you dismantle the gold, you gotta get 2 4s. But dismantling the gold doesn't thin a copper, so it's kind of close between those options. I think I'd dismantle a copper and get like a village and an enchantress, but you get the village first in case it's money, because then you can get like a smithy, which is, I think, better at this point. Let's see what he trashes. Goes for the gold. That's also going to up your foragers, so that's also something to keep aware of. Field's Gift you should take the next turn, yeah. I'd probably take a smithy here. Not a big fan of the Herald. You should put the Witch on top, I suppose. Okay, Blessed Village. Just play these enchantresses. I think maybe you go Enchantress, dismantle the gold, and buy a Blessed Village and take something, but that's why you don't play. Well, that and you get a discarded treasure are why you don't play all your treasures when you're getting Blessed Village, but to be fair, I would, probably do that myself also. Okay, this is 4 cards in play. He should play his village again here. 5 cards in play, forage an estate, and then play your leprechaun. Yeah, this crypt doesn't look very good to me. Play your lep. You can forage a silver, but if you were going to do that, you should have foraged the silver before you foraged the estate. You wasted a money. So that would indicate to me that he would just be playing the enchantress here and not playing this forager, and then buying a 4 and a 3 of some sorts. Not sure what those 4s and 3s would be. It's very hard for me to know in a game like this when you start looking at taking castles also. But given where he is, he should set that aside. Given where he is, I don't like the second leprechaun. I think the hexes can potentially be quite bad for you here. Getting an extra gold is okay, but not generally worth it. I think he's really feeling that he has so much stuff cryptid, and that's really what's hurting him here. And if he would have cryptid less, he'd just be in better position. If this crypt was, just some like 4-cost card. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect for this. Now you can herald. Now he needs to Blessed Village, dismantle, so that he can draw the stuff that he's dismantling. Yeah, Apostolosoruler looks pretty ahead here. But you should dismantle now. He might actually be able to start making plays for castles. But he should plan the rest of his turn at this point. Um, I guess depending on what he wishes for, he's only going to draw one of the cards after this dismantle. I guess also depending on what he dismantles. If he takes the Blessed Village, he sets that aside so he makes sure that he draws the gold this turn. Yeah. So what's he going to do with this wish? He could actually leave the wish. He has plenty of money here. Um, and just like use it later. Oh, we didn't have any enchantresses. Yeah, you want to do that then. Um, yeah, double province is probably also fine. He's running out of forager food, but he's going to have enough stuff that he's going to want to be able to use 3 buys, I think. Because he's going to have an extra silver this turn. I guess he's going to have 2 fewer coppers. But the extra silver and obviously gaining another gold off this leprechaun. His deck is getting bigger, so he probably needs to add a little more draw as well. Especially because he has only 1 enchantress in play this turn instead of 2. It's going to be significantly more to draw. He's not going to draw his deck this turn unless his heralds hit. Both of them hit. Actually, maybe even if they do both hit. Anyway, you probably need to feed the forager to enchantress if you are Apostolosoruler on his next turn. If you're Ingix here, you probably need to go hog wild and start scoring some points. Not sure about taking gold, though. I would have really considered taking castle, or if not that, then something like smithy silver. Ooh, he fed a blessed village, which I guess maybe he just has plenty of actions, so it's fine. This is 4, so he needs to play village and village. He should definitely play village here, and now the leprechaun. And now he should still draw more, I think, before he tries to play the heralds. Yeah, like now you play the heralds. And you play the herald here again. Maybe you could have waited, and there's more actions in his discard maybe than, I don't know. You could forage, dismantle, and copper here. I think that's quite reasonable. That would get him to what? I don't know. What's in the trash? 2. So this would be 2, 4, plus 9 is 13. Plays both of his enchantresses and buys Province Duchy. I think that's quite a reasonable play. I don't think Ingix can triple, and I don't think you're beating triple anyway. Ingix was actually a money short of doubling last turn, so it seems pretty hard, although he will have more money this turn for him to triple. He bought a gold and a copper, and he's going to have another copper coming in from his crypt. But it seems super unlikely to me that he could actually draw all that much. I mean, you could also just forage the copper and dismantle a gold and get a duchy that way. I don't think that makes much difference. It leaves the dismantle in your deck versus not. And I think at this point it's better to have it not in your deck. We'll see what happens. He could also... Okay, so he's making this play, and he does take the duchy, so he'd rather have the dismantle in his deck than not, or he didn't think about the line, one or the other of those. I think I'd rather not have the dismantle, because you're just trying to end the game by piling provinces, and I wouldn't be too worried about your opponent going for castles for some kind of comeback. I wouldn't be too worried about me going for castles for some kind of comeback. And I don't think that the dismantle is doing enough for you to take up to be worth the card slot in the deck at this point, but it's not trivial. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now is the time to play that Lep. You play Smithy now for sure. 100% for sure. Oh wow, he played his Forager into the Enchantress. I don't know about that. And now, what does he do? Province Duchy and hope that Apostolosoruler can't double? I think that's probably what it has to be. But it feels pretty bad. Oh, Province Gold? That seems very wrong. I mean, I guess he can wish for stuff, for more points, for extra points, but yeah, I'm not very convinced. You feed the dismantle for sure, right? I guess you might try to hedge. He might try to hedge by, but I'm pretty sure you're just trying to find more cards. There aren't that many dead stop cards left in the deck, so I'd really be doing this. Blessed Village. You just draw as much as you can first before you figure out what you're doing with your wish. That actually was maybe okay. Hold on. This is game, right? Trash the Blessed Village. And now, well, he has enough money anyway that he doesn't need to take like a gold or something, but he could. Could wish for anything there. And yeah, double province. Which I thought was reasonably likely going into the turn. The reason I don't like playing the Herald there, I think, I have to think about it a little bit more, but the big disastrous thing that could have happened for there for Apostolosoruler, excuse me, would be hitting your Leprechaun at the wrong time, and then on the basis of that, getting the Hex Envious, right? Would really have just like completely killed him, I think. Um, yeah, this one's also interesting. You have Traitor and Raise as your recourse against Sea Hag. I don't think that's strong enough recourse against Sea Hag, so I think I'd go for Sea Hag, and I'd probably pair it with a Raise. There's no particularly great 5. Scepter's okay. Fool's Gold will be good at some point, probably, but yeah, I don't think Traitor is good enough defense. I don't think Raise is good enough defense. I don't think Traitor is better than Sea Hag itself, so I like going for Sea Hag Raise. Mill is normally a great open, but I don't think it's a very good open here because the reason why Mill is normally a great open is it helps you hit 5 really well and is points in a cantrip. But so you definitely trash Copper here, Sea Hag, and probably get another Raise. Yeah. Um, Hitting 5 here isn't great. So now there is a Sea Hag from Ingix's side, which would make me get even yet another Raise here before going in on Fool's Golds. You really want to be keeping control of the, yeah. And now I would probably start going after it's actually not trivial what you trash here. Now I'd probably start looking towards Fool's Golds, I think. I'm not a big fan of the second Sea Hag. Rarely a fan of the second Sea Hag. Ooh, I don't think silver is as good as Fool's Gold. Yeah, this is also rough. I think as Apostolosoruler this turn, you're going to raise Copper, play Sea Hag, and be sad. You don't want to make this sea hag and raise miss the shuffle. And I think it's worth trashing. Ugh, no, no, no. This is no good. Don't know if you guys can hear that car alarm outside. Looks like you can't. Okay, well, there's a car alarm outside. Hitting hag with hag is really good for him, obviously. Um, yeah, here again, I'd be looking at Enchantress or Fool's Gold. I think Enchantress is quite a reasonable thing to be getting to. Trader is like, it's okay, but it's pretty quickly going to be doing not much for you, given that you're raising all of your estates, and it can trash Curse, but then Sea Hag is going to give you Curse for a while, but yeah, I don't know. So Ingix should lead with the mill here and not discard anything, basically no matter what he draws. Raise the Curse, play the Hag, be sad that the Trader is in hand, and yeah. And then on Apostolosoruler's turn, he trashes the Curse, plays the Hag, buys anything, and reacts the Trader. Yeah, so I think they're both playing kind of reasonably. I think Apostolosoruler getting the Sea Hag earlier was super important. Um, I think, yeah, Scepter's fine because it's like it's better than Silver. You can replay a Trader or a Raise maybe or something. You can Trader trashing the Scepter is better. You can replay the Hag if you get it early enough. So there's things you can do with it. Um, the big thing on both their sides is I would be getting Fool's Golds instead of the Silvers. Um, I'd also possibly be getting more Enchantresses. Possibly. I would trash another copper here rather than getting another silver, I think, which is a little bit unusual. I don't think that's a super normal play, but yeah, anyway, you definitely lead on this here. Now, because I don't think the second hag is good, I'd probably raise the hag, but he just raises the, yeah. This trader has done a ton of great work for Apostolosoruler. As it's multiple times now, just really saved his bacon. Well, I mean, not saved his bacon, but turned a curse into a silver, which is, obviously quite good. I think you play the mill here. You just raise a curse and go on with your day. I don't think it's worth raising raise here. I also don't know that I'd be getting as many mills as they're getting. It doesn't seem like a particularly great card here to me. Scepter is... I guess you could play it as mill? Should buy a gold, given what he's been doing. It's too late now for the Fool's Gold, probably. Um, yeah, so this is interesting. Again, he's probably going to trash a copper and buy another mill. Not a big fan. Again, like all these mills, they're not that great. Um, Ingix should discard already here, but not that. That was just a waste. You can't play both these terminals. He should have discarded more actions. Kept the copper. Would have had 5 instead of 4 here. I guess he can discard again and have 6, but I assume he wants to play the hag, especially since he knows that the trader... Well, I guess he doesn't know for sure that the trader isn't in hand, but it's less likely to be in hand because some of this shuffle was... Yeah, anyway. So you discard here, you play the hag, you use the scepter to replay the hag, for sure. And you buy another 4. Again, he's going to get a mill. Again, I think that like so many mills isn't so great, but whatever. You also are going to note at this point that the piles are really low, or two piles are really low, the mills and the curses. But with such little gain um, available, I despite the raises being so low at 4, I don't think that the piles being out is really going to make much difference. Maybe the duchies will run, and the duchies, if they do run, will end the game, and so that's going to be important. But in general, yeah, I think not so much. I'd really think about taking province here, but he might also raise a copper and buy a gold. Either of those is at least somewhat reasonable. Yeah. And just raise two things here, curse and copper. The earlier hag really looks to be the difference in this game to me. But also, I guess Ingix is just like significantly over terminaled. He is going to be so sad. This trader has been a real MVP, and I don't think you can count on it hitting that often. Um, okay, that's another raise, which makes them like quite low, but I'm not a big fan of that discard. Yeah, like you have the other mill in hand, you're always going to have the chance to do later on. He has so many mills that like gold is the standard play. I wouldn't mind duchy so much though there. Um, with the knowledge that you can run the duchies out. Um, yeah, and now he's just going to province again, of course. And now he really should be greening pretty heavily. The last curse is going to go his way, so he should probably raise his hag. I assume that it's going to go his way because I assume that Ingix is going to play his hag here. But he could discard Enchantress and hag and play the Bard and thus be able to afford a province. That's quite possibly better at this point. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Gets Field's Gift, but tough luck there. I guess he couldn't really have done anything with the Field's Gift, even if he knew it was coming. That was better, so it's not that tough a luck. Okay. And since you don't have the raise in hand anymore, you just got to do this. And Night Watchman, huh? I don't know about that. So you definitely don't discard to the first milk here as Ingix. You might discard to the second depending on what you draw. But yeah, you probably discard like that. Yeah, okay. And now Wind's Gift, just short of helping him. Yeah, 7 as often is pretty sad here. Probably you're just taking the duchy and being sad. Apostolosoruler probably does want to cycle more. I don't remember what was in his deck. But if he would have known that it was this, he should have stopped there, discarded the mills, and bought province. He cycles and has all of these good cards, which tells me that if he was tracking better, he would have done differently, but it's kind of hard to track that precisely at this point in this kind of a game. Ingix is blowing up the raise there. I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have just taken a duchy and trashed a copper, but your mileage may vary. This should just be a duchy from Apostolosoruler. Now you lead on mill. There's a good chance that you raise an Enchantress here. Yeah, you're going to. You discard both green cards, raise an Enchantress. No, you don't raise the raise an Enchantress. It's much better because you're just over terminals again. What did he buy there? A silver. This is not going to go so well. This is 8, this is another province, and this is basically game over. I mean, the whole time Apostolosoruler's deck has been significantly better, but also Ingix has kind of blown up the wrong things at the wrong time, I think. Yeah, and this is Resignation, even though he can province here. Um, it's just not going to happen for him. All right, so that's game 4 or 5. That was game 5. I never keep track of these things very well. And last game. Okay, so Battlefield and Triumph. Triumph is 5 debt for 4 points at the start of the game. Obviously, Duchy is more. It's 5 points, but it's not dead, of course. Remake, yeah, there's no draw here at all. Well, you can maybe kind of sort of make Jack draw, but basically there's no draw here. I think you just play Jack Money. I don't think there's much else to do. I don't think Remake is worth it. The Battlefield and Triumph are going to make things slightly different. I don't think Bishop is worth it. Yeah, I think Jack is better than Remake here. I think. And then, do you get a second Jack or a poacher? I'm not sure. But, yeah. I believe that Jack is better than Remake. Ingix goes for Jack. These should both be silvers. And there's not really much option, so it will be. See what Apostolosoruler does in his second 4 here. Could be poacher, could be Jack, could be silver. Shouldn't be potion. I don't think this is a particularly good board for Philstone. Particularly with Battlefield around. 5 coppers should probably be a venture here. You could try to make Outpost work, but I think it's more trouble than it's worth. I guess you could also try to make Royal Carriage work. Kinda sorta works with Jack. I guess you could get a duplicate here also as Apostolosoruler. That's not the craziest idea ever. It potentially helps you triumph for more. How does... If I have like a bunch of duplicates down and I triumph and then I call the duplicate on the triumph thing, do I gain the extra estates before I get the +1 VP? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm a huge fan of that Royal Carriage, but it's not the worst thing. Here, no matter what I saw, well, I think basically Venture is better than it. But I would skip no matter what I saw here. And I'm not sure about Silver versus Jack. I would not have gotten duplicate. I guess Royal Carriage, if it's in the same hand as Jack, lets you draw more also. But carriaging a Jack is not good. So I really think I would have gone for Venture instead. Now he's getting Poacher. I think this is all a little bit like I would have liked Venture, and then for the 4, probably Poacher and maybe second Jack. I'm not sure between those. Yeah, this looks real bad, of course. It's probably going to be another Poacher here. Yep. Obviously, this is like a bad case draw, but I don't think you needed to open yourself up for this, and the upside of the carriage is just not high enough. Same thing with the duplicate. Um, and venture is like pretty reasonable. Um, it's not that much better than silver, but you also can't draw it dead. Yeah. Yeah, this is like the worst possible grossness. You should definitely take a gold here. Yep. Oh, he got a remake as well. Interesting, but I don't think that that's good. I think I would just go for more or less jack money with ventures and maybe poacher. And then adjust for battlefield and triumph. The jack, actually, the triumph might make me lean a little bit more towards getting a second jack rather than the poacher. Because, right, you gain the silver and it makes your triumph worth just a little bit more, which will probably not matter. I would not call here for sure. Buying an estate is bold there from Apostolosoruler, and I'm pretty sure I don't like it. But to be consistent, I'd kind of expect him to take a duchy here, but he takes a carriage. I guess he's saying estate and 2 points is better than nothing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that carriage is better than carriage. I just like all of these carriages. I'm not really seeing it. The actions are just not that good that I'm super enthralled with copying them. This should be a gold for Apostolosoruler. But with all of the carriages that he's getting, I'm not quite understanding what his end goal is. And so it could well be that, oh, well, yeah, calling the carriage is very reasonable. I think you trash estate into silver, and you trash a copper, and then you still have 6 to get a gold. Um, but he's gonna trash coppers to try to be thinner, and he's gonna get another carriage, I guess. He's gonna get an outpost. I am very leery of that decision. I think it's not a very good board for outposts. You're definitely gonna buy your province here. Um, this hand also, again, looks bad for Ingix. But it doesn't look like a great outpost board to me. Like 3-card hands are going to be pretty bad on this board, aren't they? It's going to get another carriage, or a duchy, or a venture. Great. I mean, getting more carriages down is, I guess, nice. But I'm still not seeing what his end goal is. Jack, I guess. You got to keep the copper there, because you're not doing better than 6. And I would trash the remake, but then I wouldn't have gotten it in the first place, so I also wouldn't have called there because calling on Jack just gets you an extra silver and spy effect, but oh, well, I guess it ups your triumph also. That's 1 more point than taking a duchy would have been, so worth it. You play the carriage first, surely. I guess you get a duchy here. He gets another carriage. I just don't understand what all these carriages are about. It looks to me like we have 2 decks that are going to really struggle to province consistently for quite a while. And I'm just really not seeing the other scoring making up for it. You've just kind of built bad decks for. Um, I'm not really sure why. Triumph is worse than Duchy, for sure. It's 3 points and Duchy would have been 5. Or it's 4 points and Duchy would have been 5, excuse me. I guess I shouldn't say for sure. There is one positive that it has in that it lowers the estate pile, which might be important if you think your opponent is going to trying to do some big triumph thing, which I guess is possible. Okay. Ingix looks far ahead despite having gotten this terrible luck. I would not have called there. I would have just bought the province. But again, probably missing something here. His strategy must be triumph based, right? So like he can get more duplicates here. Oh, he goes for Jack. Now? What? What? I'm confused. Now a poacher. Oh, I guess emptying the estate pile also, another remake. And he gets another remake. I am just so confused as to what the goal of this deck is. That is not nearly enough points. And you're going to run out of estates to triumph with. And you have all these estates in your deck, which are so terrible. Gold? I don't know what you're doing. I just don't understand. Buy a state. I think as Ingix I would actually consider buying a state here. Just because I think that the way that you lose this game is some nonsense dealing with Triumph. And so limiting that is going to help you. Of course, now there's only one estate left. Okay, I don't think duplicate the silver, but I guess he's looking to triumph here. I don't think you can do that over... No, he is still going to triumph rather than duchy, or rather than province, even though he hit 8. I guess that's reasonable. But if you're doing all of this, and all of these carriage calls, I can't imagine that going for this with the triumphs is better than just, like, more or less playing a money thing. I don't think you can get enough triumphs that are big enough often enough. And your opponent can, like, triumph from out from under you. Yeah, I just don't believe in it. These poachers are now -1 card, so that's something to keep aware of. If you remake into Duchy, if you remake a 4 into Duchy, then you can gain a Duchess and then duplicate the Duchy and then gain another Duchess, and then after you've done all that remake shenanigans, you can triumph. So that's some shenanigans you could do, but I really don't believe in it. And now Ingix looks completely won to me. He has a much better deck, and a 20-point lead, and I'm really not seeing it. So you discard no matter what's on top here as Ingix. You discard that because you want to trigger that shuffle. Okay, he doesn't, but I think he should have. You'd buy a silver here. Yeah, I don't really see what this duplicate's doing for you. I don't like it. The poacher being minus a card is actually nice in this exact hand for Ingix. Okay, this is a bunch of duchies, but it's nothing doing. So obviously you lead on poacher, you discard province probably. Play the jack over the duplicate. Actually, maybe you play the duplicate. No, you probably still play the jack. You buy a duchy here. Lowering that pile is good for you. Wait, does he have a duplicate down? No. Okay. You obviously leave that on top. You're really sad. You trash the remake, I think, over the duplicate. I don't know. Either way, you're very lost as Apostolosoruler. What? Oh, he wants to trash. So the log doesn't give you that information. It, it just looks like the last thing that he did in the log is played the jack. It doesn't say declines to trash. Which is like a bit annoying when it comes to some of this stuff. Okay, this is okay. This is, obviously a really good turn for him. Would have thought about trashing the duplicate also, but I'm not sure whether it's better than nothing or not. I think it's definitely worse than, say, silver, which is why I wouldn't have gotten them as either of them, but whatever. This jumps to province, of course. This more or less seals the deal. Yeah, so this is going to be buying a duchy. Oh, no, he can get a province. Cool. He has to get province, I think. I think I would have ended at duchy, maybe even so. But this, yeah, 12, 18 points. So there's a 15-point gap. So as soon as Ingix gets the next duchy, that's a point lock. Oh, there's bishop, of course. There is no point lock here. Ooh, he has a carriage down, so he definitely wants to trash the duplicate here so that he can replay this jack. Definitely, definitely. 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 The duplicate isn't that good of a card. You really want to buy province, etc., etc., etc. Well, what? Okay, this is going to be undone. What? You trash province over duplicate? That was purposeful? I don't understand. I do not understand. What do you think that duplicate is doing for you? That it's better than a province in your deck? Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the bishop stuff makes sense, but it's obviously way too little, way too late. This is the province here. That's the game, and that's the match. Thanks for watching, everyone. Uh, Hopefully you've enjoyed it and learned something. Please feel free to leave any comments with suggestions or thoughts, things I missed, things they missed, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, we'll catch you later on.